Hello and welcome, guys, to another podcast by Rupite. Here we have Tanvi, Naman, Ayush, Sagar, and I, and we have an exciting topic to discuss. I don't know why Naman is laughing, but before we discuss anything, let me just put it out there. None of this is an investment advice. All of this is for educational purposes only. So let's begin.
Hmm. Okay.
Begin from the writer. Yeah, Ayush.
From the writer. Okay, so the topic in general today is going to revolve around innovation and how
And you,
a market can be disrupted. Phillips, really? So we're just going to talk about how a brand can penetrate a market and completely disrupt it in a way that's making a significant penetrate jokes. Sagar.
penetrate and
So yeah,
disrupt. That's
yeah.
what she said.
Yeah, how a brand can penetrate and disrupt a market, and how that can repeat within a similar group of companies itself. So I think the last sort of example that we can think of that was particularly relevant to us was, I think, the telecom sector, where we saw, like, I think pre 2016, when we were all, most of us were in school, some of us were in college,
Naman was in a
Not
cradle.
born.
born. Yeah.
No one was a fetus.
Yes.
No, I mean, yeah.
So it doesn't apply to you, but most of us had most of us had phones and telecom operators that we used to swear by for years. But the problem with that was that we barely had any internet, and even if
And
we
it was
had
too
the
expensive.
3G, it was frightfully expensive. So at the time, assuming 4G was available, it would have been about 350 rupees for 1 GB, and that didn't
I used,
have your unlimited talk time and all of that.
I used to pay that.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlimited talk time.
But you didn't have
Unlimited
unlimited talk
messages
time
for.
back then. It's not unlimited,
No, I
right?
did.
Because you pay
Not
for
enough to
lim-
consider
huh,
unlimited.
yeah, but technically not unlimited. And then you'd have like extra roaming charges and all of that separately. So your bill would rack up to a pretty high amount if you had to watch a simple YouTube video or read a blog or watch a show.
Okay, I'll ask you all one thing.
Cut to
Okay.
now.
So,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay.
go ahead. No, go
What
ahead.
is the highest phone bill you all have ever paid?
In a month?
Yeah.
I just started using my phone when these unlimited plans came out.
No, man, it's not for you.
I don't know. 1500?
Okay. Sagar.
4,000 bucks.
Oh
But
my
that is
god.
international. Bro, no, that's nothing. Tanvi?
No, 4,000 because like it was whatever, very early on. But anyway,
No, mine was 2,800.
Mine has been 8,500.
8?
My
Why are you flexing their
yeah,
disgusting behavior?
the most I have.
Yeah.
Bro, no. So the thing is, no. The thing is, when I got my first mobile, I didn't know that you have to pay extra for internet. I thought internet is just there. I don't have a device that supports it. So
How
for
old
one
were
month,
you?
I was in eighth standard, seventh or eighth standard.
How did you pass seventh standard with this kind of IQ?
अरे no, अरे so it's a postpaid रे तो I didn't care bro. बिल आता था घर में तो I was like
बाप का
cool,
पैसा
ठीक है
उड़ाने
रे.
का और क्या है?
हाँ. And the BT was that my phone costed 7,200 rupees.
wow.
Oh
And my
shit.
dad gets a bill of 8,000 bucks. And he's just hammered me, bro. Like he's just shouted at me so much. Then
For
I
good
realized,
reason.
yeah, because I didn't know all of this, bro. I used to download a game, then in 5 minutes delete it, then
Are
download
you
another.
serious? Download game on data in that era.
Yeah.
It's blasphemous talk.
And then I got my mistake, bro. After that, and like, luckily I didn't get shifted to prepaid, but still,
Yeah.
it was a bad scene at home.
But yeah, even if you hadn't done stupid activity, your average bill would have been that high regardless of, at very low consumption levels also, like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000.
Hmm.
But one player came in, changed the whole scene, and cut to what 6-7 years later now. We have unlimited talk time. We have no roaming charges. We have unlimited data at the fraction of a cost. Where now 1 GB costs 13 rupees, and I'm sure all of you
Oh,
know
that's cheap.
that's the difference now.
How cheap.
India is one of the cheapest mobile
Cheapest.
data providers in the
Yeah.
world right now because of this.
India's cheapest in every form, though.
In the good way.
Not
So,
really.
like,
Alcohol, no. Alcohol is.
yeah.
Sagar, go to Goa.
No,
Yeah, but
even then, it's cheaper outside.
no, alcohol is as like the prices of vodka and all is similar to what you get in UK. Smirnoff is similar to what you get in UK.
It's
No.
cheaper.
Well,
though.
but beers it's more expensive, dude. Like even wine is more expensive, beer is more expensive, everything's more expensive.
Haan, chalo, all of that, yes. But like vodka is like Smirnoff is 25 pound over there. 25
In
or 20
France?
pounder. Yeah,
How
I
much
was
is it
checking
in
it
France?
online there.
No, I do not drink Smirnoff, but I mean the whatever vodka was like 15 to 16 euros. So that's like
1600.
1300, 1400, yeah.
That is cheap. See?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
but it
as
would
much
be
as
cheaper. Even in UK it would be cheaper. No, yeah, Alex.
magic moments in there na to see the.
Oh
Ah,
God, never.
yeah.
But
But
yes,
yeah, like the point of that being that Jio, the brainchild of Motabhai,
No, the
came,
brain
disrupted.
money.
Okay,
he's only
That is
brainchild.
just a PR statement कि मेरी बेटी वापस आई और उसने देखा कि इंटरनेट खराब है. She said, "Papa, internet नहीं चलतू." And then Papa said, "डाले बेटा internet free now."
But what's the problem with that? Like, let's just accept it and believe the story. No?
Yeah.
ठीक है.
yes,
It's
correct.
her brainchild, and
Mm.
that
His
resulted
money.
in prices. Their money, I guess. Yeah.
Their family money.
Family money. Okay, wait. Did you know that? Okay, fun fact about, or rather, a quiz. What is the one business that Reliance went to in the late 90s that they did solely for a CSR objective, but then became the largest producer slash exporter of that particular commodity in India?
Mango.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
This is
They're
Lesser
the
known
largest
fact.
producers of mango in India. Like the single largest producer of mango in India is Reliance.
And they did it solely because I think they had a refinery in Jamnagar.
The Jamnagar facility. Yeah.
Bro, what a
And
refinery
because of
that
the
is. You've seen over.
pollution. I've seen pictures, yes.
It's a crazy refinery.
Yeah. But the amount of pollution it made was also crazy. So they decided to set up like a mangrove there. And that not only offsetted the pollution, but then within
Made
like
profits.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. But like, so, I mean, that's the kind of track record the Reliance Group has, right? Like they enter a market, they completely obliterate competition, they bend the market in their favor, and then make it better for the consumer, make it better for themselves, and just make it a shit place for anyone else.
Yeah, like even in the telecom space, right? When before Reliance came in, there were 12 players, and now we've got 4 significant ones.
Yeah.
I can only name like 3 right now.
MTNL, BSNL together.
Yeah, BSNL she wouldn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wouldn't consider Idea a
My
major
first
player
SIM
now.
card was ideally actually this one, no, MTNL.
Mine was
There was
First SIM card.
it was called Dolphin at that time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You
I
all remember
remember my
Hutch?
grandfather told me about it.
Yeah.
My grandfather. Oh my god.
CS.
ठीक है.
Cheap shots.
Yeah.
No, let's move on.
So yeah.
But just as no,
Okay,
waste more time. Chal, Laksh, tell me.
Arey, I forgot that it's not about telecom.
Let's not get to the point ever. Yeah.
No, sorry.
The
Let's
point
move on
being,
from telecom. Yes.
yes, that since Jio made such a splash in telecom, now come August 2023, they've decided to enter yet another sector that's fairly untapped in the country, and a lot of players have been trying to grab a stake in there but haven't been as successful. And that is now Jio Financial Services, which is the topic for the blog and podcast today.
Chuffis.
Yes, Jeffers. So the basic thesis is, will they repeat what they did with Jio in telecom, and will the financial services space reward their efforts of being penetrative and being disruptive in the market that they've chosen now?
So we can start
So
with this. So everybody can give one reason why not.
Why
yeah,
not?
Yeah. Why JFS won't be as big a success as Geo was in telecom.
Because they are coming in as a passive fund, so like there's not a lot of alpha to generate over there. Matlab, a lot of money to move around. So like
Okay, chal,
that's
one reason. Okay.
is that a
Tanvi
legitimate
is
reason or no?
Googling. Not really,
we'll
but
come to
okay.
that.
Naman, what is your reason?
I am thinking.
Tanvi.
I'm also thinking.
Ayush.
I think for like if you're drawing the comparison between Geo and telecom and Geo and financial services, it was much easier for Geo to have disrupted the telecom space because A, they can play around with pricing. They could have the limitless funding opportunity that they have being part of the Reliance group to acquire or uh, attain the sort of distribution network that they now possess, which is one of their main USPs, right? Like wherever you go, if there's no one, there will be Geo. That sort
Yeah.
of reach, that sort of ability to provide discounted service and then just make a splash as a brand, that is much more of a possibility in a business like the telecom sector. Unlike with financial services, where how much of a discount can you really offer when, as Laksh mentioned, passive funds pay the fees is 0.2%, where in lending services, how like you'll have to make some sort of a spread between what you borrow the funds at and what you lend the funds at. So if you really want to lose money, then you can be disruptive. But I don't think that's something that they'd want to do. So it'll be a little tougher for them to do it, rather much tougher to do it in financial services.
But here's the argument, right? Like what you said about they have to make a spread or it is 0.2%. Similarly, in Geo, it was also about 13 rupees per GB, right? It is
Yeah,
as meaningless a spread as it is
that's true.
in financial services. But you're talking about scale. So Reliance's game is never really pricing or highest
Yeah,
pricing or whatever, right? Like lowest pricing, but with the highest scale ever.
yeah,
So then the fallback of whether they succeed or not is on whether they're able to attain or achieve that scale or not.
right.
Um, Chal, one reason why they can succeed. Starting
But
Laksh
that's
again.
the reason why they would fail now. I thought about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
Chal,
sure.
we'll come to your reason. Go on.
So I feel like in the financial services industry, you have to like play by the rules because there are so many regulatory bodies, and Geo is not really known for playing by the rules, disruptive shit and all.
oh,
So
damn.
Mm.
they need that kind of experience and they need that kind of discipline, I would say. And
So
you
basically,
can't,
they can't result to their own tactics.
yeah, in a way, I would say.
That is
But even the
very
telecom space had like even
yeah.
seen
It
regulations.
had rules. It had
Yeah,
regulations.
But
had,
like,
yeah.
competitors like
Let's
HDFC,
differentiate between had and have.
No, she's like HDFC.
No, no, she's. I mean, it's not a wrong assumption to
No,
make that they
yeah,
won't be able to play around as much.
yeah.
yeah, plus you'll come under fire from the government, like if you make any stupid mistake.
Hmm. And
Yes,
telecoms
Reliance
also
Group of
government does. Yeah, exactly.
the Reliance
Reliance is
Group will
not
come under fire with the government. Yes.
the government. The next day, government will only be changed by
At least
Congress.
people
Sarkar.
lose confidence. I mean, there's
Yeah,
already shake and there's like,
Yeah, no, it's a
No,
legit point for sure.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's a legitimate point. Yeah.
it's just that if you like they can reword the Bible, right? So it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's just let
You
the
can't
law be.
you can't do anything. Like it's like they support each other.
Jesus
Their
ate
campaign.
fafda, you know that it's like that. Like ऐसा हुआ था.
Jesus drank curry instead of wine.
Single-handedly offended multiple cultures.
Jesus by Christ was his actual
But
name.
Naman, Naman, did you have a point to make? Or can we move on to the positives of
No, I don't.
I
Okay.
have a counter argument for that thing, like why they would succeed because
मतलब वो
of
खुद ही का point खुद ही counter
That's the point of this, right?
Yeah, I do actually.
But अरे नमन
नमन अभी बाद में.
Let Tanvi finish.
no, because
Tanvi,
they
yeah.
have a joint venture with BlackRock, so I think the sort of discipline would come with the other company, and then money with skill
तन्वी
would
अभी
kind of.
valuation भी बोल ही दो. अंदर में सब माल तो पढ़ के बता दिए हैं.
No.
क्या
I mean,
खत्म.
yeah. That's not a wrong assumption to make again.
That's true. That's true. Naman,
Naman, did you have some value addition? Yeah.
No, let's
value
just continue. I'll speak
This
about
is
it in the next part.
not peer
ठीक है. So
pressure.
Laksh, one reason why Jio will succeed in financial services.
कौन
And we're talking
मोटा
financial services overall, okay? Like not only
Not just
AMC, any
factors. Yeah.
business they get
मोटा
into.
भाई का हाथ है आप ऊपर. It's just that.
कर लो दुनिया मुट्ठी में. Cool.
I swear.
Ayush, what is yours?
It's in fact what you mentioned earlier, right? Like the scale point is very relevant to their success or failure. And in this case, they really have the opportunity to scale almost instantaneously with the access that they have to the Reliance group. So cross-selling opportunities, usage of retail touch points, merchants that they have with like retail. It'll be easier for them because they won't have to start from scratch like other financial services players may have had to, like your Bajaj and your
I have
bigger
one
banks.
question.
Yeah.
Do you think ever Jio will become a proper bank? And then like how Apple Pay is there and all.
Yeah,
So
I
like
think that.
you'll have
That's
like
part of the
Jio Pay.
business proposition. It's just not begun yet. But yeah, they will.
But a
Yeah.
lot of people have tried, right? Like none of the conglomerates right now, the big houses, Tata doesn't have a bank, Birla doesn't have a bank. None of these guys, Jindals don't have a bank. And who've had the ability to or the capital to pump into making a bank like very early on, right? None of them have a bank. So it's a little debatable whether Reliance
It'll
can
work
pull
out
that
or
off.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they're too greedy to not have a bank. Like they would just want to
They're gonna
control
try
it.
it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
No,
have
at this
Geo.
point he can try anything, huh?
What?
At this point he can just try any type of business he wants to
Yeah,
get into.
just everything from head to toe will be sponsored by Geo. Clothes,
Yes.
makeup, hair.
That's already happening, right? Like we've already seen them
Azorte.
cover
Yeah.
multiple markets
Multiple
instantly.
markets.
Now they came into this baby clothing and all also with Alia Bhatt.
Right.
And they also have that Tira beauty thing that's like,
Correct.
Net
They
meds.
have
Is that
the
a Jio?
Zara competitor as well, right? They've made a fashion brand.
Azorte.
That's
They're
what
doing
it
a
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a Zara competitor, but they're competing with pantaloons and
No. It is Zara and H&M.
Zara only, Zara H&M.
It's in that league, right, Naman? For
Price point
pantaloons,
is
they have
higher than
Reliance.
Pantaloons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like
What
the
is your
point is,
argument for Naman?
yeah, Naman. Huh?
my to argument for Jio would be the pricing. Like they can cut everyone off their like right under their legs with
0.2% में कितना और काटेगा तू
नहीं,
AMC में?
वो तो AMC में बट the
चल लोन में.
हाँ they can issue
Loan also,
like
they borrow at
wallet
10%. They'll lend at 12%. What will you cut? these are not industries that are highly profitable. I mean, not highly profitable. They're not ones with large spreads with room for cushioning or whatever, right? They don't have any
Okay.
buffer only. मतलब कहाँ काटेगा? But yeah, they can cut in the form of this thing. They won't have overheads which are as high as the others because of scale. I mean, if they achieve that scale, and to achieve that scale, till the time they achieve that scale, they can burn money much more compared to the others. So ability to not comparatively price, but probably comparatively price by running losses is higher.
But they can do that as well, no? The amount of backing, monetary backing that they have with.
So they can just keep running losses or keep running very thin margins for till they achieve whatever scale. Like even Geo in the beginning was low in terms of uh, pricing and profitability, but they were very fast in gaining and achieving that scale, right? So then the tables turned for them. What is Tanvi's pro Geo move?
I already said their partnership with BlackRock.
Oh yeah.
What is BlackRock for our viewers? If you might want to explain.
BlackRock is another financial services, asset management, wealth management, blah 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 company. I don't.
Lux thoughts you won't know, no?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, but Sagar, what do you think? Pros?
Pros, according to me, is just the ability to distribute. Given the fact that they've got such a large customer base across businesses, and if they want to say, for example, like something as simple as launch a payment app option or payment app, they can tie up with all their merchants and retail points like very quickly.
Yeah.
Um, and just by implementing it in their own retail touchpoints will give them so much of a head start. Um, or, for example, from there they can just move on to merchants, for example, or whatever, right? I think they've got too much. Like even Reliance Digital, for example, whatever phones they're selling or whatever electronics they're selling, rather than giving Bajaj Finance ka EMI options, they can start giving Reliance Jio Financial Services ka EMI options.
Yeah.
That just captures another whole market. So I think in-house ability to generate business is so large for Jio that I don't think there is an initial cost of like finding traction, finding a market, uh, discovery, and
Yeah.
critical mass, and all those issues just don't exist. They're born as a 18-year-old. They don't have to go through like adolescence or whatever.
Yeah.
The बाहर निकल-
True. But despite any of these pros or cons, the market seems to value it fairly highly at like what 1.4 lakh crore, which makes them the second largest non-banking entity listed on the market, right below Bajaj Finance, with no business to their name per se. Like they haven't really incurred revenue from lending as much, nothing from their AMC business, nothing from insurance broking. Again. So, what really makes the market think that they're worth that much? And what are these two businesses mainly that they're going to enter into? What are their plans? I think we should get into all of that, preferably.
But that 1 lakh crore is a 1.4 lakh crore is this thing, right? It's optical.
Yeah, of course. It's actually what 40,000 if you remove the stake. Yeah.
What stake are we talking about, Naman?
Hmm.
नमन को
Mr.
निकाल दो इधर
Valuation.
से.
There is a stake that Jio Financial Services holds in its parent company, Reliance. That's about 435 million shares. That's round
Ooh.
about a lakh crore in valuation.
Geo holds in.
Jio Financial
Reliance.
holds it in Reliance. Yeah.
Yeah, Naman did the valuations in the sheet, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
But
did. Yeah, I didn't.
Shameless, shameless.
yeah. But
Yeah,
we'll
Okay,
come to that
next.
obviously. Valuations, though, we'll drill him once we truly understand what Jio Financials is getting into as a business first. So we've already seen that, okay, in three aspects, whether that's innovation, pricing, or distribution, while Jio Telecom was able to hit the mark on all three of them. Jio Financials may not have a lot of room to play with pricing. They can really leverage distribution because of their presence in retail touchpoints and merchant networks. And innovation wise, also, other than having an integrated app as such, and as Sagar mentioned earlier, using Reliance Digital to service payments via their own financial services as like a cross selling. There's nothing else that they can do. So distribution is like their main thing. So how are they going to leverage that distribution and focus on two of their major businesses that they will kickstart soon, which is one is their lending leg and the other is their AMC, which is their passive investing leg.
But have you
Is
noticed,
anyone?
have you seen this also? The book of Reliance, right? The book value
Yeah,
at, if you remove the shares of Reliance, 25,000 crore book. Bajaj
yeah,
Finance is at 50,000 crore.
yeah,
So, like, that substantiates like how an industry leader with so much like time spent in the market, etc., is at 50,000 crores of a book, and this guy पैदा भी नहीं हुआ अब तक and is already half the size. Right? So,
yeah,
like, and then you're talking about a 10,000 crore additional debt issuance, which will further boost
yeah.
their ability to
In
be
fact,
into this.
it's good that you mentioned that because apparently the statistic is that although Bajaj Finance has like a 3 lakh crore asset book in terms of like assets under them, that's barely 2% of the credit market under their purview as a market share.
Hmm.
Like obviously there's like bigger ones like HDFC, SBI and all, but under the non-banking ones, Bajaj is seemingly the market leader, but they barely scratch the surface at 2%. So for Geo
Hmm.
to let's say get at 2% within a year or two is not that much of a feat, considering their distribution, which is again something that they leverage for the lending place, is massive already compared to Bajaj.
Which
If we had to
Bajaj
put
didn't have,
numbers to
right?
that,
Like, to be honest,
yeah,
like Bajaj Finance didn't have the distribution. Like,
yeah,
it's not a banking entity. It does not have those retail touch points. It does not
correct,
have any relationships that it can leverage. It had to build it from scratch. And here you're
correct,
talking about a player which has a significant portion of the country as customers in
yeah,
some form or the other, uh,
Hmm.
and such a large network. So
yeah,
it's not really difficult to pull that off. So that's what I think. Distribution plus, I think, like the second point that can also like result in some amount of leverage is a tech play.
yeah,
Uh, a tech play because like a lot of these when you're talking of people like you said 2% of the population, I mean 2% of the market Bajaj Finance has, right?
yeah,
The rest of it is very unbanked in nature, and not just unbanked but unbanked plus they don't have access to even NBFCs or credible lenders.
yeah,
But at the same time, if Geo comes in and does disrupt that market through technology, either
yeah,
through whatever, they're able to screen better, they're able to originate better, they're able to recover better, whichever part of the loan process they're able to do better using tech. Uh, Combination of tech and distribution, that is a significant edge over any other player that is
yeah.
currently there.
Especially, I think origination specifically because the Geo Telecom network itself will give them about 400 million people right off the bat to offer a loan service to. Then there's your retail reliance and digital reliance, which adds about another 300 million. And to give context, Bajaj Finance has maybe 100 million in terms of a potential to offer, including their app, including their already repeat customers in terms of lending or
So
their
they
credit cards or whatever.
with a 100 million customer base, they are doing a book of 3 lakh crores
Assets of 3 lakh. Their
assets,
book is what Sagar said, right? 50,000.
50,000 crores. Okay.
This is inclusive of everything, like not just their consumer durable loans and personal loans, but credit cards, all of that. And they have like 40 million users on their app. So all of it cumulatively, cap karke bhi 100 million like people that they can touch. If they now to they've stopped doing the calling thing also, no Bajaj Finance, because the CEO is like, go fuck yourself. So Geo already has a 7 times larger distribution channel to capitalize on. So beating Bajaj Finance in that bit, as Sagar said, with the use of tech, won't
Lending,
be
so
too.
yeah. But I seriously doubt their capabilities in asset management. Like I
That'll
have
be weird.
serious doubt on that. It's a crowded market, bro. There are 40 plus AMCs,
Yeah,
and there are so many which are now only passive focused, right? Which
correct.
Geo wants to do. There's
Yeah.
Navi Mutual Fund, there is Zerodha, there is uh,
Nippon.
Nippon.
Nippon and Motilal, etc. are to shifting from not shifting, but like very actively focused on passive markets. But
You mean
traditionally,
those who
they're
are
active.
entering is, yeah,
Yeah, the incumbents who are sort of like early to capture the trend and not miss out. But
right.
like new ones are all like has plans of passive again,
Yeah.
um, and suddenly like there's nothing different to offer in a passive product other than just a low tracking error,
Yeah.
which can be a function of scale, but also probably your ability to create a mix of different indices or whatever. All
Only
of
you
us
both
are
have it
very,
because
very people
whoever
don't
have
have.
Totally
math
happy.
can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're celebrating getting back onto the podcast after a brief break as we discuss the passive
Hey, लक्ष्य
investing
वापस से ये होगा,
between.
बहुत heavy हो जाएगा file. Last time you
नहीं
had
नहीं
put
नहीं,
some
निकाल दिया मैंने.
stupid background you had put, and then the file was like 5x the size.
अरे यार.
Some
Which
brick
one
wall
was it?
you
It
had in
was
the background.
Genesis or no?
Oh shit.
It was a
That also
mapping
happened.
company wala.
Genesis only, which is
Genesis
11%
has
computed.
Hmm. Oh, Sagar killing it.
Yeah.
तू तो बोली मत ना मत चल इतना
अरे
पैसा
यार.
मेरा
Breaking
It was not
market
bad.
trends and breaking hearts since 1948.
okay recording start
I have something more controversial
no it's
after we
okay no
shut the no,
no
after
worries
we
यार
shut the recording as
पहले तो मैं फिर भी बोलता था कि लक्ष्य चल बोल दे आधा बोल दे तो बोल दे अभी मेरे को जानना ही नहीं है बोल ही मत तू
अभी बहुत रिस्की हो गए.
Yeah, but we were talking about passive investing and how Geo may not be able to make a dent in it. Right? But I think to recap what Sagar said, 40 plus AMCs, not much innovation because kitna hi karoge in an index fund or an ETF. And not a lot of people want to make like index returns or less than index
innovation
returns.
कर सकते हो like Vanguard did a lot and whatever but there are enough players
Mhm.
with innovative ability here to do it and not just BlackRock. Like I'd
Yeah,
rather count on the Zerodha fam to do it better than
right.
Yeah, the brothers.
But Zerodha also like what they have to their advantage also will be just like tech stack, right? They'll be able to
And
make it
also
easy
the
to invest
distribution.
into.
yeah, and I think
even like investing wise the trust factor is a large deal and all of that I think Zerodha sort of not I
Sorted.
can't say that anymore actually because of all the lags on the app and everything they're sort of like somewhere losing credibility there are
Yeah.
people a lot of people go like he needs to get off the podcast for the
I
app to function better
from like that Tara Sutaria and all, he needs to deviate a bit.
I like his podcast is nice usually.
yeah it is nice it's good I like the one with this one the influencers on it Prajakta Kohli
Project Tanmay and all.
Cody.
I like the one with food and the venture capital one.
Yeah,
The
venture capital
restaurant
one
one
is
was
the
actually
best.
very good.
Yeah.
And
I was watching
venture.
the restaurant one yesterday
It
only
was so
with
informative.
us. Yeah. Both of them were very informative.
even
this one was good yeah the Kishore Biani one was
nice with the Mensa Bank
He's been in
also.
2-3
The
now.
there
Like he did
was
one with
also PVR.
hmm, PVR also.
PBR, so of course, that's where Tanvi.
Yeah.
What?
Her call went through though, no? Yesterday or something the stock was up to 3%.
Yeah.
which
Tanvi was
Ambani
good.
video do you like the most
Which?
Ambani video do you like the most now that we're talking of
Oh,
videos of
he has this one with Rajiv Sardesai, and he goes and he's like, "आपकी opinion को मैं ज़्यादा seriously लेता भी नहीं हूँ."
yeah.
True.
Oh shit.
And he
No,
said it
I
like Mukesh Ambani said it on his face.
like the one.
You like the one where?
Then I like the memes, like the dubbings that they make. Na, अरे ये गरीब आ गए वापस घर में.
Looking at everything.
And then that Anand Ambani, there was one of Karwa Chauth, okay? So what the dubbing guy, he's like, अरे बेटी आपने इसके लिए करवा चौथ का ये रखा है उपवास, कभी इसे भी बोलो उपवास रखने के लिए.
To be.
Okay, guys, repeating is shutting down after this.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
No, cut this.
Cut this, my ass.
But they're dubs, bro. I can't do anything.
No, cut this,
But yeah.
okay? Like, we shouldn't risk our career so early on. Like,
So early on.
So early. So Bichara Sagar is knee deep in this company. He also
हाँ
the neck
भाई,
deep.
जेल में मिलेगा मैं तुम्हें वो उधर पुणे में ही
ये
बजाज
बड़ा.
फाइनेंस के ऑफिस के बाजू में येरवाड़ा.
even Pune wala FinCorp I saw yesterday. Is it like a
अरे
same similar?
Just
Yeah.
NBFC only.
yeah. It's a full carbon copy of Bajaj Finance. Full site से लेके everything.
Acha, like that. I haven't noticed.
That's
But
only
decently
now.
managed.
Transformation has happened now.
Yeah. Well
But
managed.
Okay, so after the AMC business, what are the plans?
So no, so the point being that why the capital infusion might be of value is the kind of innovation they can bring there is low, very, 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 very low fees. They can really offset the cost of managing how much ever low the managing cost would be for a passive fund, and basically offer it at pennies on the dollar compared
But
to
that is
anyone else.
anyway pennies, yeah. There's no operating cost for a मतलब वैसे भी पैसिव फंड में क्या है, रिसर्च नहीं है, फंड मैनेजमेंट नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है.
So what do you think they'll be using itna funding for? Just valuation game, or like, why do they
No, I
need
mean
itna?
whatever, they may be pumping it for the marketing or whatever, I don't know, but ideally, or plus regulatory requirements, you'll need to keep some buffer, form an entity, form a trust, form that structure, hire custodians, blah blah. वो सब बहुत टाइम पास बहुत है, तो वो सब तो करेगा ही. But other than that, in terms of like, it will mostly be like a product team and a compliance team and like a tech team, bro. Like I don't know what else you need.
Tech team will be of more importance, I guess. Yeah.
That's hardly anything anymore.
What about the
But again,
UPI that they have, the payment plan that they will
I
have?
think they're doing it in collaboration with who? SBI. No, State Bank of India only. They're collaborating the payment bank with.
So it'll
So
be
they'll
like another Paytm. But don't they already have Jio Pay or something?
maybe they'll integrate it into this one big app. So all your Reliance Retail and Reliance Digital payments can be made through their UPI.
Yeah. And plus then you
But
get offers.
they also have these super app ambitions, right? Like which,
Yeah.
for example, like a Paytm has, or any payment app right now. You look at their
Everyone's doing the super
interface; it
app
is
thing.
so fucked up. Yeah, it's just like it started with payments, but now you'll find everything on that app. Like Paytm's a full maze. Like if you have to find something simple, it's really difficult to find it on the app because you've got
Yeah.
everything stuffed into that little screen.
Yeah. So
Paytm
their
is a
app will
headache.
be a definite like deal breaker if they have to someone has to choose between Jio Financial and any other player. Because I think even players like Angel One and all are coming up with the whole super app
Yeah.
thing.
Ah, but that is more like financial services, right? So they'll provide like loan plus insurance, mutual fund, stock, etc. in one app. But
All
these guys will go a step ahead and say कि यार मैं तो पेमेंट भी करेगा, फिर तुम वो पेटीएम जैसा गेम भी खेलो, रिलायंस रिटेल का शॉपिंग भी करो,
It'll all be connected.
चूल्हा ब्यूटी से भी शॉप सब्जी भी मंगाओ.
एनएमएफसीसी का तुम लाइव फीड भी देखो, इधर ही मामा मियाँ देख लो.
Yeah, sort of like that only will become. Which I don't know, will it get messy or not? Yeah, then we go.
They could also have those 3-month payments like Klarna or Scalapay, like credit pay you can make, buy
Acha.
stuff. Yeah.
Buy now,
Buy now,
pay
pay
later.
later.
So
Yeah.
BNPL is this, no? It's restricted, no, by the government.
In India?
By the
Yes.
government that
Yeah.
Reliance is friends with. Yes, correct.
No, but
That
for everything, I think they had either reduced or told them to restrict it. Buy now, pay later.
But buy now pay later is not that penetrated also. Like no one's really using it as much. So it'll just be a frill addition.
Bro, but people take it for granted a lot of times.
yeah, in Paris, so I had so many like shopping things on Klarna, and then
You
like
pay it at the end of the month, or sorry, so you said 3 month
no,
cycles.
3 months. Yeah.
That's
Debt
dangerous. Yeah.
की debt की जिंदगी.
No, but
But
it's like
that's where the money is. No, people are at
Yeah.
the brink of
Exactly.
default, and then they default, and their this thing interest payments pile up.
Shoot
That's
out.
where
Yeah.
the juice is. No,
Exactly.
That's where we make our money.
hey, we don't.
Not
Huh?
we. We
No,
really.
no. I mean, joke है.
We are educational in nature, no? We don't do any of
Oh
that.
yeah. We are like those YouTubers. कुछ
with
कमाते
AI.
नहीं है बस. Oh, actually, we are on YouTube only. Fuck, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, Naman, you were
Talk
saying
now, think
something.
later.
Naman was saying something. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was, but I had a point ki there are 40 plus AMCs in the passive investing wala game, but there's no one with a good distribution network, no, except for Zerodha. So can't
What
SBI,
are you talking about? Every
SBI.
bank-led AMC has
It's
so much
massive.
distribution, right?
but
SBI, ICICI. You look at the top five AMCs right now. Uh, Barring a Nippon, everybody has a strong banking license that
Yeah.
they leverage upon,
And pan India presence.
yeah, makes
which is
sense.
better network than a Zerodha or whatever. I mean, you're looking at the
150%.
distribution from a very digital perspective,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
You
there
don't
is a
understand that.
large on-ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
Not
Now
So
everyone
it's very
uses.
competitive. It's too competitive.
and the distribution network, at least in the case of distributors or independent distributors or channel partners, they will not sell passive funds at any cost because 0.2% तुम user से ले रहे हो. उसमें से how much will you earn and how much will you share with the distributor or as a commission to a channel partner in any case. So your distribution network from a channel partner perspective is gonna uh, be pointless when it comes to passive investing, which anyway
Unless
Reliance
they
doesn't have. But anyway,
unless they
yeah.
completely scrap the passive investing idea and innovate something altogether differently.
Okay, the world is moving towards passive. What else will? It's again volume game, right? It's a volume and scale game. It's not really a game of value.
But just because India is untapped, like as you said, the world is moving towards passive. So I think we have a number on that where it says something known as an asset to GDP ratio, where the world's trading at a 75%. India is at 16. But just because that gap exists, does that mean that India will gravitate to mean reversion, or
No,
is there
that
no?
will, but I think the bigger gap is in the fact that what is passive as a total of AUM right now in India?
That's a good question. It is
So
so it's okay, understood,
passive as a percentage of total AUM has exceeded 50% in most developed countries.
but not
Um,
yet.
but not in India. India is far away from that. And active still has a role to play because developing country, a lot of new ideas, stock investing will work, etc. So till you reach from developing to developed, active will probably still be majority share, but increasingly people will gravitate towards passive just because like lower cost and easier access and um, the
FD money
effort
डालने के
or the alpha wala this thing
लिए.
is trade off is in the favor of passive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how much ever we shat on Geo, it is something that's like if you had to choose between will they succeed in JFS or not succeed, which way will you gravitate? Laksh,
Everyone go one at a time. Yeah.
Why me?
because someone has to start.
Oh, let Naman start.
Naman, success or failure? JFS.
I don't think it will be of any success with all these points that we've currently mentioned.
Ayush.
Are we talking business
Yes.
wise or are we talking stock wise?
Business wise.
Business wise, there's maybe the lending sector will definitely take off. There's real
JFS.
potential.
ये lending वेंडिंग ऐसा dissection नहीं चाहिए.
Yeah. Under the assumption that the lending business like
Yes.
Yes or
yes,
no?
yes, yes,
हाँ.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
Tanvi.
Yes.
ये Naman is a fail. I'm also yes.
Yeah, what is
Or
this?
Naman is the one who's going to make mad returns by shorting.
Why
No,
he
he
can't
won't
short it?
make
No?
returns. No, he can't short.
Yeah, that's
Can't short it, yeah.
You short this, you will be a loser. वो तेरा सारा टाटा टेक का पैसा चला जाएगा इसमें.
Did you
that's
get
No,
it?
not.
Arey bro, you don't know it. He went and booked a new BMW also.
Let's talk
अरे
about
कुछ
that
भी
on this
don't.
podcast.
Yeah, please.
हाँ, sorry.
Let's not
Okay,
talk
so
about it.
anyway, so everyone, like 4 out of 5 people here believe that whatever means or through whatever prowess,
Yeah.
JFS will succeed. And the implication on the stock is pretty simple, right? Like it's trading very close to, not very close to, if you remove the value of Reliance Industries, uh, then it's trading at a 3 times book, but without any business at all. But if it does have to business, and even if there is a minute chance of succeeding, or even a significant chance, whatever your belief is, the only like there is a larger potential for the stock to go up than down. Um, that was not a recommendation.
That was not.
Exactly.
It is just a
It's
educated
a it's an observation.
Healing.
guess.
It's a deduction.
I swear.
But yeah, to summarize or to conclude, business prospects look sound in some aspects of what they intend to do. They're flush with cash. They have more than enough distribution to cover the entire country in a glimpse of an eye. And they have valuations backing them. So minimal downside risk,
That's it.
potential, yeah, potential is up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
जैसे जिसकी सोच.
Yeah. But interesting one to look at because clearly Reliance has like that everything they touch turns to gold sort of situation. So
Yeah.
I would just, I think, look at it from the perspective that, like, if I have nothing to lose, and if I have to draw parallels from a Reliance success story earlier,
yeah.
then I mean, I wouldn't go full in on it, but like full, like all in on it. But I'd just probably like, what's the harm in keeping a certain part of the portfolio as an option value? Because limited downside, because वैसे भी 1.5 lakh crore में से 1 lakh crore तो Reliance का value है. बाकी का जो भी है, that is at a low valuation on no business. So whatever they add will only be accretive from here and not dilutive. Assuming they won't fuck up, and that is, I think, a safe assumption to make in the case of Reliance. JFS, JFS, JFS.
Jio Rock.
Jio Rock is a much better name than Jio BlackRock.
Jio Rock. It
The
is.
Rock Jio.
And
Jio.
It's Kati rolls.
on the note of that underwhelming ending, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week with another stock. And that's a wrap. Are we still doing the clap thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.